College Football Playoff Top 25 rankings brought to you by Capital One. Remember, we don't see them until you do, so we're going to unveil them together, and let's start at number 25. Billy Napier's Louisiana Raging Cajuns get into the field for the first time. Marshall is undefeated, also sitting at number 21. Washington has also entered the rankings from the Pac-12. Oregon took a big tumble. Let's go 20 now through 16. Southern California's only played 3 games, 2 more left on the schedule. They're in there. Iowa makes a big jump there. 2 losses are close. And Coastal Carolina, College Game Day, going to see the Chanticleers against Liberty coming up this weekend. Wisconsin has only played 3 games, but still getting some respect from the committee. North Carolina lost to Notre Dame and went up a couple of spots. This next position here is, I think, what we're looking for after last week and where BYU was at 14 coming into the week. Let's look at 15 up now. And BYU only makes a small surge. Northwestern takes the big drop. Kirk, only 1 spot up for BYU. What's your reaction?
That was my big thing I wanted to see. All the feedback we had for the committee, not just us, but around the entire country, it was unanimous. People thought BYU was a top 10 team, but the committee holds strong. Only moves them to 1 spot ahead of Northwestern. Again, very, very surprised by that ranking.
Okay, Oklahoma with its 2 losses, but the Sooners appear to be on track to making it into the Big 12 championship game. They are sitting at number 11. Got through 25 through 11. Now let's go into the top 10. And at number 10, as I told you, Miami still has a chance playing the ACC championship game. They need Clemson to lose to Virginia Tech, and the Hurricanes need to win their remaining games. Just ahead of Miami is Iowa State. Now, last week they didn't respect the head-to-head of Iowa State beating Oklahoma. Joey, what do you think about Iowa State jumping 4 spots by surviving against Texas this weekend?
Well, I think the fact that they beat Texas was enough. And I think in this era, when we're talking about eye tests, and Rece, you just touched on it a second ago, North Carolina moved up in losing to Notre Dame, and USC moved down a couple spots. And so it's interesting in this era of eye test. Iowa State showed the committee something by beating Texas, even though it was a close game, but they won that game, they move into the top 10.
I think it's a pretty big jump when you consider that Texas really helped them win that game on Friday. Let's look at 1 spot above Iowa State. It's Georgia. They found a quarterback. Georgia's at number 8. What about number 7? 1 spot ahead of the Dogs. And Cincinnati is still sitting at 7. Jesse, what do you think about the Bearcats not moving yet? He didn't get to play this past week. Are you okay with where they are?
Yeah, I'm okay with where they are. Their resume took a big hit, though, guys, when SMU lost to East Carolina this past weekend. They need that strength of record and strength of schedule to be as high as possible. Good news for them, Tulsa's still ranked. They're obviously going to get a chance to play Tulsa twice, do the best they can to impress the committee. But you got to imagine sitting at 11-0 at the end of the season, Group of 5 champion, that's not going to be enough on its own. They still need help ahead of them. We've all talked about that. We know that moving forward, but I'm good with Cincinnati right now at 7.
I think that's something the American ought to consider, too. They're going to make Cincinnati and Tulsa play a couple of times back-to-back, which could just be a potential banana peel for the Bearcats. David, we've gone 7 through 25. What's your reaction to what you've seen so far?
We always want this to be about a certain thing. And what do we want it to be? We want to be the best team. It's hard to say that, but what the committee is always going to show us time and time again is who you beat is important to them. And, you know, just like USC dropping. USC hadn't beaten a team that's won a game yet. Like, I'm perfectly okay with USC being there. You look at Oregon dropping, the Pac-12 obviously completely out of the race. I'm very interested to watch the Big 12, by the way, the Big 12's path. Iowa State jumping up, a very respected Oklahoma team, by the way, ranked pretty high. Is there a path maybe if Notre Dame beats Clemson again where a Big 12 team could come into the mix if Florida lost to Alabama? So a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, sorry, but I think it's interesting to look at that.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.